Good evening, good evening, good evening. I have a special broadcast, and my special broadcast has to do with where are the Crafts? The Crafts, like the Kraft family, the Kraft family. Yeah, where are they? Because we have a situation. Robert Kraft is the owner of the New England Patriots. Now, I came out months ago and I told you that Bill Belichick forced Tom Brady out the door. And apparently Kraft couldn't do anything about it. Bill Belichick tried to force him out the door 10 years ago, but Kraft stepped in. So this time Kraft couldn't do it. And so Brady was gone, and so went all of the New England Patriots' hopes for a championship. Yeah, they were out the door. They were gone. Now, 2017, the last time the Philadelphia Eagles were in the Super Bowl was 2017. And they won. Yeah, they won thanks to Saint Nick Foles. Yeah, Nick Foles is also known as Saint Nick in Philadelphia because he was like Santa Claus. He came in and saved the day. But there was another Santa Claus for the Philadelphia Eagles. His name was Bill Belichick. Yes, Bill Belichick. You see, during that game, Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots head coach, decided that, well, he was going to sit his starting cornerback, Malcolm Butler, keep him out of the game. Keep him out of the game. Yes, he did. Why did he do this? In the game, he really needed him. I mean, Philadelphia went crazy as far as passing. Nick Foles went pass happy. Let's just put it that way. He completed 28 of 43 attempts for 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. Now, his starting quarterback, one of his starting cornerbacks, Malcolm Butler, he kept him out. He didn't play Malcolm Butler at cornerback the whole game. He let him go in for a punt return or a kickoff return, but he didn't let him play cornerback. Was Butler hurt? No. Was Butler injured? No. Was Butler sick in any manner? The answer is no, because he was fully dressed, and he even let him play one play. So many in New England wondered that whole time, why didn't Malcolm Butler play? The newspapers tried to ascertain the truth behind it. Nothing was given. Bill Belichick refused to talk about it. I think he might have said, I did what I thought was best for the team, which is his usual refrain when he doesn't want to answer the question why Malcolm Butler did not play. Now, there was a lot of innuendo going around that pilloried and pillaged Malcolm Butler. They damaged his reputation. They said he did all kinds of things. Turns out none of that happened. Malcolm Butler came out last week in Philadelphia. I mean, no, he wasn't. He was in Arizona. And he discussed why he did not play. As a matter of fact, if anybody has, I'll put a link to a radio station in Boston, WEEI, in which he talked about it, why he didn't play. Now, the reason why, and now this is why I'm asking, where are the Crafts? Okay, because this isn't the first time that Bill Belichick has did this to a player. I mean, Malcolm Butler's family was at the stadium. They thought he was going to play. His mother, things of that sort, was at the stadium. He just had him stand on the sidelines in front of everybody and not let him play. The reason why Bill Belichick did not let Malcolm Butler play because he wanted to stick it to him. Plain and simple. Why was he held out the game? Bill Belichick wanted to stick it to him because Malcolm Butler was becoming a free agent at the end of the season, which is the Super Bowl, at the end of this game. Now, that sounds petty, doesn't it? Yeah, he wanted to stick it to him for not re-signing with the Patriots. Not that he offered Malcolm Butler any type of money. He didn't. As a matter of fact, it didn't matter to him that Malcolm Butler had single-handedly won the Super Bowl for Bill Belichick 3 years before. That's right, 3 years before. When they were playing the Seahawks, he made that interception and won the game for the Patriots. It didn't matter to Belichick that Butler was a 2-time Super Bowl champion. No, that didn't matter either. It didn't matter to Bill Belichick, that he had ridiculously underpaid Butler for the 3 years after when Butler became a starting cornerback. No, that doesn't fall into the good graces either. Nothing that Malcolm Butler did falls into what we would consider good graces for anybody. It would have for anybody, but not for Bill Belichick. It didn't matter to Bill Belichick that the amount of money they offered Butler as an extension was ridiculously low. It didn't matter to Belichick if the Patriots lost the Super Bowl. That's right. From top to bottom, or should we say from bottom to top. It didn't matter to Bill Belichick if the Patriots lost the Super Bowl. He had to do this in order to knock Malcolm Butler's worth down on the open market. He had to stick it to Butler. And if the team lost, and all of the New England fans lost as a result, and the Kraft family lost as a result, it was too damn bad. Screw Malcolm Butler, screw the fans, screw the Kraft family. Belichick is in charge, totally in charge. And nobody is going to tell him what to do or how to do it, even if he's totally 100% wrong. He has no one he has to answer to, apparently. Now, of course, this sounds too petty to be true, but it's true. Bill Belichick is that petty. It's been 6 years since that Super Bowl. So why do I bring this up? Because Malcolm Butler broke his silence as to what happened. He retired from the NFL and now can be candid about the matter. During that sports interview on WEEI, which I saw last Sunday, Butler seemed to shock the host. He shocked the host, just like I'm shocking many of you if you're watching this. Many of you New England fans watching this. He shocked the host when he told him that was just Bill Belichick's decision. He was not hurt. He was not injured. He was not sick in any manner. He had not gotten into a fight. He had not started a fight or been in a fight with Bill Belichick's son earlier in that week, as rumored. Somehow that got out there, along with all the other rumors. He had done nothing wrong. The show's host was shocked. They couldn't believe it because they had carried Bill Belichick's water all these years thinking Malcolm Butler did something. And now he was going to reveal all. But I wasn't shocked. I knew it all along. This grifter, known as Bill Belichick, is what he does. It is why when the media wanted them to say, former players, something good about Bill Belichick, his former players were very measured in their words when they spoke of him. It is why they called him Dr. Doom during his tenure as the New York Giants defensive coordinator. Whether it was Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks, or Bill Parcells, they danced around the subject of him as a person because, as one can see from the Malcolm Butler affair, Bill Belichick can be a grudging, judging, spiteful man. Many fans thought, well, he was just outwardly pretending to be this sort of person in order to set the tone of discipline for the team, when in fact, he just likes screwing plays over. Bill Belichick and his family makes $15 to $20 million a year from the Patriots franchise. He has won 6 Super Bowls, but it seems that he gets his best high from screwing over players. He likes to have these rough, tough, virile young men under his control. He likes being in a position that he can embarrass them, control their future, and watch them squirm. It seems to me that he can't sleep at night if he thinks the player is actually enjoying his very short football career, making the money that he deserves. Within the first year or second year of signing a free agent, Bill Belichick has restructured their contract. It seems to gall him that he paid market price, and he feels he must do something to hamstring the player. He puts in incentives. He puts in fifth-year options. He'll use the cap as an excuse. He'll use the player's performance last season as an excuse. What did or didn't occur in the offseason as an excuse. What's happened in the first 6 games as an excuse. He'll use whatever reason he can to restructure a player's contract to a lesser amount. All the while telling everyone when it comes to negotiating the player's contract, he won't do that once the season starts. But he does it all the time by restructuring the contract. You cannot underestimate the importance of Tom Brady to the Patriots' franchise success. Based upon Belichick's obsession with knuckling plays under him, Belichick spends more time screwing over players and accumulating dirt on the Krafts than he does coaching. Huh? You say? Belichick is screwing the Krafts? Well, yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, of course he is. Did you really think he was going to be able to start with just screwing over the players? The Kraft family has known for years of Bill's mismanagement of the players, that he has treated his dogs better, from Deion Branch, Richard Seymour, Randy Moss, Mike Vrabel, Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, and dozens and dozens and dozens of others. No, not that he had to. The majority of all these players respected him as a coach, and they wanted to be with the franchise. But in Bill's mind, he felt he had to. He had to screw them. Kraft knew of the Butler incident. He knew. He had to know. He should have fired Belichick right after the game. Belichick had cost Kraft and his family and his franchise and his team and his team's fans a championship with an arbitrary benching of Malcolm Butler. But he didn't fire him. No. So it's obvious. It's obvious that Belichick has control over Robert Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, and the whole Kraft family. That was never more evident than when Belichick shoved the man who had saved him and the Patriots franchise, one Mr. Tom Edward Patrick Brady, out the door for Cam Newton. Yes, Belichick got rid of Brady, and Kraft did not intervene. Let's put the whole scenario in perspective. When Brady entered the picture, Belichick was on his way to a second losing season. Since he had just signed Drew Bledsoe to the highest contract in the history of the NFL, had not Bledsoe got injured, he would have stayed with him. I mean, that's the horse he was riding, Drew Bledsoe. And he would have stayed with him that season and the next season, and maybe the next, but if there was a next, but more than likely he would have been fired after his third season. Maybe he would have had a 500 season, maybe not, maybe better, but they would not have made the playoffs, much less a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick was shaping up to be the loser who got run out of Cleveland. That was until Bledsoe's injury forced him to insert a guy he had never seen play in college, in person or on film. A guy he had drafted with his last draft pick in the first round, a throwaway pick, done just to please his then quarterback coach, Dick Reblain. What did he have to lose? It was his eighth pick, sixth round. He had got all the plays he thought what plays he needed, and he just used his last pick to please his quarterback coach. Throwaway pick. They got Tom Brady. Then he kept Brady because Brady was the cheapest quarterback he had under contract. That's Bill Belichick. See, Brady was not supposed to be Bledsoe's backup. No. Belichick went out and got a person by the name of Damon Hewitt from Miami. He was going to be Bledsoe's backup, and Brady was going to be the backup to the backup. But Hewitt got there late, didn't pick up the system quick enough, and Brady had been there all this time and been chomping at the bit and ran all the scout squads and the practice squads. So Brady, at that particular time, was the backup to Drew Bledsoe. It was expected that Hewitt would grasp the system and then Brady would be pushed back. No one foresaw what was going to happen, which was Bledsoe nearly, he suffered such an injury, he was nearly, he survived. But Brady would come in. He would come to replace him. New York Jets. Mo Lewis knocks Bledsoe out of the game with a hit so hard it ruptures his spleen, and Brady comes in, and the rest is history. Brady saved Belichick's season and his career. He saved the New England Patriots from ignominy. They would have never won anything without Tom Brady. Yet, all the while that Brady was in New England, Bill Belichick would viciously denigrate Brady in front of other players and team personnel. Kraft knows all of this, yet he can do nothing. because Bill Belichick appears to be holding the cards on him too. The way Belichick treats the players in Kraft is the same way he treats the reporters, with unmasked disdain. If he doesn't want to answer a question, he won't. If a reporter asks a question he doesn't like, he will glare at him. He will stare him down before giving them an answer that has nothing to do with the question. And if they get too inquisitive and too frisky, he'll have them kicked off that football beat. Bill has the power to get it done. The Krafts, the Patriots personnel, the players, the reporters, the fans, he seemingly despises all of us. Without Brady, we can see there is no method to his madness. Just madness. Malcolm Butler's assertions sound a lot like Asante Samuel, sound a lot like Stephon Gilmore's, like Adelis Thomas, Mike Vrabel's, Stephen Neal's. Well, you get the message. The list goes on, and all of them are the same. Nobody has changed their tune. They've said the same thing about Bill Belichick. And we want to know, I want to know, where's Robert Kraft? He knows this is dirty. This is ugly. This shouldn't be happening. No one should have to put up with what the players have had to put up with under Bill Belichick. And it is time for Robert Kraft to step out and make a clean break. Let the NFL know that he doesn't condone this. But maybe he does. Maybe it's okay to bench the starting cornerback just because you want to knock his value down, even though you don't want him. You just want to make sure he doesn't get paid. Well, it's not a coincidence. The Patriots franchise resembles a circus now. There is no rhyme to reason to many of the things that are occurring. Hiring a defensive coach and placing him as the offensive coordinator. Yanking the starting quarterback, then lying to the press saying that the quarterback knew that he was on a short leash, and so didn't the players. When Mac Jones was oblivious to this, he denied knowing anything, and the other players denied that they knew anything. Suspending a punter at the end of the season so you don't have to honor his contract the following season. The madness continues, unabated. When is something going to be done about it? Malcolm Butler is the real martyr of the NFL. I say this, yes, but there's other people in high positions that have national TV shows. I mean, I have a national one, but it's on a much lower level. And they won't touch this with a 20-foot pole. Malcolm Butler should be brought out and his story should be told on ESPN First Take. That'll never happen. They claim to be on the player's side. No, they're not. Only when it makes a lot of news for them. They don't want to anger anybody. What's something convenient? They can make a racial thing out of it. They can't make a racial thing out of Malcolm Butler. Even though he is black, it's not racial enough. There's other ones, CBS, all the rest of them. Malcolm Butler's out there. They can go speak to him. They can bring him right on. Interview him. He'll tell the same story that everyone. They can even go get other players and they will collaborate Malcolm Butler's story. He's a martyr of the NFL. Well, in the 3 years since Brady's gone, it's gone from the talk of genius to the talk of madness in New England. And it surely is madness. It is madness. It was madness. We just didn't see it. Well, with that, Clay Moss for the Amazing Grace Sports Network. I have no sacred cows. Whether it's Bill Belichick, LeBron James, who doesn't play defense. Not to confuse the issue, but listen, guys, I'm for the spirituality, the passion of spirituality, and the unity of sports. We can all be united on what is right and what is good in sports, and united against what is wrong. Have a good night, everybody. A good day, a good night, wherever you are, from Algeria to Zimbabwe, America, in between. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.